Yo guys, I'm still Yellow, and today I figured that we should talk a little bit about a topic that is about influencers and the blue check marks and the dark nature behind that sort of stuff. Ever since it became a topic known of by very few people, I've actually known about it from the very start. That taught me a lot about how YouTube was going to devolve instead of evolving. Goes without saying, though, that many people on YouTube can still do nicely and fine, but the entire algorithm and all that sort of stuff has gotten pretty extensively crazy and annoying. So that is just how it's become. But why I want to cover this is to just inform people about the true reality behind these sorts of things. Also, so that you maybe can guard yourself better against what it truly is. Because most of the times, it just doesn't matter and it doesn't really make any sense. And that's aside from the products that sometimes or a lot of times just are not good. They are inherently really bad. So then, let's start with a couple of underlying things. To be an influencer is basically the action of a company trying to leverage the goodwill that a viewer of some sort of personality have towards a product or profit. So they're trying to use the dynamic for to earn money. And that kind of transaction can be improved greatly if the product is cheap. So I remember like many years ago by now, there were a lot of companies from China that tried to make it so that like, okay, you can get $100 or $200 and you can talk about and review this product you can get from us for free, which will often be a horrible mice and keyboard plastic combo from China, the worst quality of them all, of everything. But of course they would earn a little bit of money, and if they earned just 10 sales or 5 sales, they would have earned money on the procedure. So of course, aside from the unit they would give away, but that doesn't matter. The point is that they're trying to kind of sort of covertly abuse the situation while trying to also abuse and leverage a goodwill that somebody have towards somebody. So me priding myself in not really doing too much ad stuff, turning it off and all that sort of weird stuff, I got pretty pissed at that, so I always ignored it, but man, there were so many. But again, that is the general dynamic behind this sort of stuff, and it also happens on Twitter, on Instagram. People are trying to like leverage credit card things and just products that just doesn't make any sense or doesn't apply or doesn't work. So I figured out now that you know like the dynamic and how it normally works, let's also showcase some of the products and how bad they are. Of course, you can do a little bit of research on your own. Just search the keywords and review or is bad or bad quality, and you will often figure out like the people that know their stuff. They will go like down into the nitty-gritty deep of like, is this product good or not, and then you will figure it out. A good example to start with will be the Raycon earbuds. They will be decent, but they will most likely just be mass-produced, and that means that some faults might randomly happen, but past the faults, they just won't really be worth it to a larger extent, because you can buy better stuff probably where you live, or more simple stuff or cheaper stuff that will do the job. Audio is a finicky kind of world, but for people who care about quality, you should most likely always avoid cheaper or more basic brands unless they get an actual good review by people who know their audio stuff. And so these things being advertised all the time, I'm not really a fan, and I would never do it, but you can probably understand that it comes down to the true quality of it instead of the fake perceived quality. Then we got, I guess we could take one of the good examples I have, and that would be Displayed. That is maybe one of the few ones that I actually enjoy, and the reason why is because it's such a flexible product. They're like metal posters and whatnot. Like in the future, I could foresee myself having them as a sponsor. But anyways, getting down to the point, it's such a flexible art type product. People can choose what they want themselves, and that in return means that it will have some or a lot of value to many people, which again means that it's inherently so flexible to so many people. It will be good aside from what it is. It's not trying to lure, fake, or pull a shady one on anybody. It is what it is, but it actually isn't really too bad, and that is good. That is crazy and unexpected, because most of these products don't really make too much sense. Now let's do another bad one, and that will be VPNs. At best, they will not truly conceal your data, and your ISP provider that gives you the internet and the IP and all that sort of stuff, the more technical stuff, they will also, by the way, keep information that they will send out or sell to some degree, or a larger degree, and that combined with the data that a different country have with where you are going, even as somebody using a VPN, the data will more or less not be like, maybe it will be encrypted a bit if you're lucky, depending on what service you have. But past that, it might not really matter, and that is just an annoying, sad thing. But yeah, it gets more advanced, by the way. The only real benefit might be that like you can see some sort of television show in a different country that you're not supposed to be in. So yeah, it gets more advanced though. Like I could talk about this for hours, but there's no real point. It's better to do your own research regarding like the true security of this sort of stuff. So yeah, there are a lot of other bad ones too, and I think the most nefarious ones of the influencing type marketing ordeals will be the games. The games are the worst by far. So everybody got a phone, right? More or less. That means that a lot of those people are young. And if they are young, they're easier to influence and lure or fake or scam or whatever word you might want to put in there. So then, when you advertise a phone game, and it have a lot of microtransactions, but it also have a pay-to-win system or a pay-to-compete system, which most or all of these have, you can probably then understand that this is just a recipe for disaster, because somebody will take their mom's credit card, or maybe they are a rich person who don't really care too much about money, or maybe they are just not good with money, so they will spend it and waste it away. So there are a lot of facets here that can just be horrible for a person to go down. Go figure. That is what makes these companies stay alive, and I find that to be just really annoying and bothersome, but you can only do so much about it, and some people probably are in an economic type situation where it makes too much sense to not take those advertisement deals, but I find it still to be really scummy, because a lot of these people will just waste their money away on a product that is inferior, bad, not well made even. So yeah, all in all, a really sad evolution of games, really outright pathetic down to the core. But I don't get to dictate anything. I can't enforce good products to be advertised and bad ones to not be. So yeah, sad reality about that sort of stuff. And again, some of these people probably don't care either, so they will just do it thinking that, oh, it's a payday, it's an ad, nice, and then they didn't pay a second thought. Pretty sad stuff, but I mean, there's nothing for us to do, right? So yeah, that is a good chunk of examples, and regarding the games, there's probably like 5 or 6 or 7 of them, so that's a lot of them. But yeah, a couple of good examples of how trying to use a YouTuber and turning them into a marketing tool, that's so hollow. It's disgusting. It's almost as if like you get cursed or something. I absolutely hate it. I've loathed that sort of stuff ever since it became a thing. So now let's cover how I learned of it, because I learned about this sort of stuff before just about everybody. I think it was like late 2015 or so. Somebody we will call Mr. T, he had a YouTube channel, and it was pretty basic, simple, and cool, and he talked about a lot of critical stuff, more advanced or nefarious type of things that bubbled beneath the surface. Let's put it that way. But it's very important to follow this sort of stuff, because if nobody talk about it, then everything will just get worse. It did though, but he did talk about it, and oh boy, the right people noticed, which was absolutely insane. As I clutch here, I do believe. I do. So what he talked about was more or less about influencing before it became a thing. So well, technically it had been a thing because of the Chinese people for a long time, but you can probably understand that like it wasn't really commercialized or streamlined. So that was what he was talking about, and he showcased it, how it worked, what it would be, how bad it would be, turning people effectively into just marketing tools, becoming influencers and that sort of stuff. Not something you want to aspire to be, because then you're effectively soulless and you're just being used like a puppet to a larger extent. But yeah, so where that takes us is that he talked more and more and more about it, and suddenly Google actually takes notice of him, which is insane, because Google, like when you don't even have like 50,000 subscribers and Google take note of what you're saying, that means that you probably know stuff that you're not supposed to do, or you got information and you got understanding that they don't want you to have. So then things go down the line of how he even had like a Google Hangout call with one of the people who were like doing work with that sort of stuff, influencing and whatnot for Google, and yeah, he got a lot of praise, which is really creepy and makes no sense, and it felt really disgusting to me, honestly, because I watched that sort of stuff live long ago, far away. And then, as he kept on going, I think either he decided to shut down his channel, but that doesn't make any sense. I believe maybe he did get banned. And on a side note there, he actually fled his country too, so that's one hell of a crazy story. But he is doing well in the new country he's in, and I checked up on him yesterday, and he's doing fine. So that's pretty cool to see. But you can see that flying too close to the sun, or the alphabet soup as it's called nowadays, it's dangerous to some degree. And past that, knowing things you're not supposed to seems to be even more dangerous. So I'm kind of glad I never talked about about this sort of stuff initially, because, oh my god. But you can probably understand that I don't like this sort of stuff. It's bad, it's not good for people, it's basically a soft betrayal. Yeah, some people will be forced to do it or are too dumb to think. But I mean, now at least you guys know, so move forward with caution. Thanks for watching, support the channel in any way, shape or form. If you comment, you will hack the algorithm, so do that because it actually helps. Here are the related videos, the return might be interesting to some. Thanks for watching, this has been your Norwegian hardcore PC gamer. I believe in you, and have a nice day.